everyone, and today I have for you a DIY pumpkin pie and frappuccino. So starting with the pumpkin pie, I'm going to list down below what you need, but here's a quick overview of everything, and it's not actually too much and they're quite basic ingredients, so check the list down below for all the specific ingredients. But as you can see, there's just spices and sugar, a bit of salt, and of course pumpkin, eggs, and there is also evaporated milk. Okay, so I'm preheating the oven here, which you need to do ahead, so it's around 200 degrees centigrade, and then I'm just opening up the pumpkin. Okay, so once this is open, what you need to make sure to do is also leave a bit aside for the pumpkin spice frappuccino, because you obviously don't want to put it all into the pumpkin pie. So after spooning it all out into a big bowl, apart from the little bit that you'll need to have for the frappuccino, I'm just putting in 2 eggs. Quick cooking tip, I always like to crack my eggs into a separate jug, so if there is any eggshells then I can easily take that out, and you want to quickly whisk this up a tiny bit so it's lightly beaten, and then put that over the pumpkin. So once you've put the eggs into the pumpkin mixture, you want to weigh out your sugar like I have here, and the list will be down below on how much you need, and you just want to put that on top as well. You also want to add a tiny bit of salt. Okay, so moving on to the spices, I'm just putting in here some cinnamon, and then I'm moving on to some ground ginger, which is quite easy to find in many supermarkets, and also the final thing I'm going to be putting in for the spices is some ground cloves. So I'm just putting that in and measuring it out before I do so, before mixing it all together. And then you also want to add in some evaporated milk. Apart from I didn't have any, so I made some myself by just boiling some milk out, so it's a bit less liquidy. And then I'm just mixing this all together and folding it in until it makes a nice smooth mixture. Okay, so once that's done, you want to get your little flans that I've got here, which I already made myself, but you can also just buy some ones from the shop that are pre-made. It's up to you what you prefer, but here the pastry was already made and all I did was had to roll it out and then cook it. So I'm just taking the bowl of pumpkin and equally distributing this between the 2 flans. Once you've done this, you want to be ready to put it in the oven for about 40 to 50 minutes, but keep checking on it as it's going along. And to make sure it's ready, all you have to do is put a knife into the flan and then see if it comes out with any liquid on. If it does, then it's not fully ready, but if it comes out clean, then you know that the pies are ready. So after about 40 minutes, I took them out the oven, and this is the final result, as you can see here, and it's so yummy and amazing for this season. Moving on to an autumn favourite, I know a lot of people love the pumpkin spice frappuccino from Starbucks, so here again I'm just giving you an overview on everything you'll need. I actually use regular coffee, but you can also use espresso coffee if you prefer that. I just didn't have any at my house. So this is everything you'll need, and again I'll list it all below and how much I used of everything. So here I'm just pouring some water into a jug to bake my coffee. So this is the coffee that I'm using. It's just some instant coffee, and I'm putting this into the water, about a couple of teaspoons I think, and then just mixing it all together. Once I'm done this, I'm taking the lid off the blender and just pouring this in, ready to put in the rest of the ingredients. So after you've poured in the coffee, you want to start measuring out the rest of the ingredients to put in. So I'm just putting in some milk here, but this is entirely up to you how much you want to make. I just kind of do it by eye and see how much I will have to fit in my glass. And then apart from that, I'm just adding in some vanilla flavouring for a bit of sweetness, some cloves, cinnamon and ground ginger, the same as in the pumpkin pie. And then after this, I'm just pouring in a couple of tablespoons of pumpkin. I'd say it's up to you again, because you don't want too much, but then you don't want too little obviously, because you want the flavour to still come through. And then I'm putting in some ice, and the more you put in, then the more frappuccino-y it will be. So after pouring this in, you just want to blend the whole thing together. So with this recipe, you can obviously do it how you prefer as well. Say there's too much coffee or you prefer more or less spices, you can change that up entirely. So it's one of those recipes where you'll usually find your perfect one as you keep making it a few times, which is what I usually do. So this is the finished recipe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoy making both the Frappuccino and the pumpkin pie. If you have any suggestions for me, then leave them down below, and please like this video and subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!